Progress.
Good afternoon and welcome to Self-Realization.
Good evening.
Let's have a few words. Mother, Father, God, we give gratitude and thanks for this day. We ask for your infinite light of protection to be with us and throughout this building and on Zoom, so that only the highest and best will occur through our thoughts, words, and actions. And through those thoughts, words, and actions will lead us to a better understanding of our own self. So when we meet those on our path, we have a better understanding of them. We give thanks for this day. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Reverend David is going to continue with body representations for healing. Reverend David.
Yes. We ended up last week.
Let's probably mute our computers, guys. So hold on a second. Something's not quite right.
We're going to start today with the hips. Now, hips represent going forward in life, and also it's the if things are going on with the hips, it's to know that there's some experience in your life that there was an authority or something in your life that hindered you from really doing what you truly wanted to do. And if you notice that a lot of older women break their hips, and the reason why that is because they were living a role that was taught to them by society and religion and everything that and they were not allowed to go and do what their deep desire was inside them, and desire is a worthy destination, and there was something worthy that they were not allowed to do, and if you don't do anything about it, it keeps on attracting those things to you. When you have an unpleasant experience and things don't happen,
I got Michael.
and if you don't do anything about it, you keep on attracting the same experience. So it's important to change the experience, and the experience is people, places, and things. This is how we stay healthy, is to be in command of our thoughts, words, and actions, people, places, and things. And if you continue doing the same things over and over again, you get proficient at doing those things. And a lot of our disease is a proficient of your continuing doing the things that are unpleasant and unworthy, and that, and so to stay healthy, is to make sure harmony is in your thoughts, words, and actions, people, places, and things. If you go to people, places, and things that don't have the happiness, health, and wealth in them, then you got discord in your life, and it takes a strong person to do this, because especially some of the people in our lives, are not the best people in our life, but we have strong attractions for them, and we don't want to get them out of our life. But that's the healthiest thing to do, is to have them out of their life, and it's just a difficult thing to do, but it takes a strong person to do that, and if you don't do anything about the harmony of the people, places, and things in your life, then you're going to continue on being diseased, this at ease, and everything. And we have a lot of experiences within us to do that, so you have an all-knowing within you that tells you what is the highest and best for you. And taking that step and doing the highest and best for you takes courage, and it takes strength and confidence to do that and everything. So when you're assisting in health, assist the confidence and security, the strength and everything like this to be able to do that, and so if you got something going on with your right hip, from what we got through the last week and everything like this, that's the male experience within you. of things holding. A male may be responsible for telling you what your role is in life, and then you had to follow through with that and everything. And so now is the time to stand up and say, it is now time for me to do my desire. My desire is a worthy destination. And when you say I am worthy of my destination, you're going to get some very different ideas on what to do. And it takes strength and confidence to do that. And the strength and confidence is right between the hips. And that's where the strength is in the base of the spine and small of the back. And that's where the strength is and everything. And that's the confidence of it. And you're not going to be healthy without activating that. And that's why it's good to understand the 12 powers, because that's one of the 12 powers is strength and everything like this, And so when you go up the spine, when you have things in the lower part of the spine and everything like this, these are actually burdens that you have acquired throughout the. Now, what are burdens? Basically, burdens is connected to the shoulders of responsibilities. Usually, you take on responsibilities that aren't yours, and then you're not doing your responsibilities. Find out what your responsibilities are. I can't tell you what your responsibilities are. You know what they are. And every time you do something that's not your responsibility, there's a knowing inside of you that tells you you're doing that. And so the best way to not do other people's responsibility is when you have that feeling, don't do it. Tell them you're capable of doing it. And then you have freedom to go and do things that are your desire. Desire is a very worthy place to be. And that's a good direction to have in there. And it takes a strong person to do that. But for you to understand desire is to understand worthiness. And worthiness is a condition of health, happiness, and that. So, if anybody, you got any questions or comments, because I'm going to be saying some things in here that are going to probably disturb you and everything. And I want you to ask questions about it. And don't be afraid. If you're afraid to ask a question, then you're undesirable, because you're not doing things of desire. So feel free to ask me anything you want. Because what I'm talking about tonight in the last two weeks is something that takes a lot of strength and confidence to do, and to sustain. Not only do you get help, but you are to sustain that help and everything. And it takes a strong person to do that. And we all have that strength within us, and it's interesting when people have a way, that I have just a small, I've been the pastor of the United Fellowship Chapel since 1977 and everything like this. And my family, when I left New York, I didn't realize that was the healthiest thing I ever did, because I got away from the family and everything, and their family life was death and everything. And so it took them about 15 years to stop asking me if I had a job. They didn't think I had a job or anything like this, And then when they stopped talking about that, I said, that took a lot of strength and everything, to be able to be free from that condition and everything, because I in that condition and everything like this. So I want you to know is that the spine represents the experiences you've gone in there, and the connection between strength and responsibilities is your spine and everything like this.
David, Amy has a question.
Okay. Well, why don't she say something?
Well, we kind of can't see her too well, but she was raising her hand.
Well, don't raise your hand. I can't see your hand.
So if you guys, why don't you guys use the reaction button down there at the bottom, and that way that yellow one will pop up, and then I can kind of.
Why can't they say something? Why can't they speak to me?
You were talking.
Well, that's okay. They can stop me.
Okay. Okay, my question was, how does this relate to, I feel like this is strongly related to my studies in the root chakra. Is this the area you're referring to when you speak tonight?
I don't understand the question. That's the area that I'm talking about, yeah. Well, what's the confusion?
No confusion, just wondering if this area is in relative to the root chakra and while studying the root chakra.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
but the root chakra is also a different area too. That's the life area.
Below?
That's the life area.
Okay.
It's nice to know everything about the all-encompassing takes in every condition.
We're getting such a feedback over here at the chapel. It's really bizarre. It's like really delayed, and then we could hear everyone speak afterwards. It's kind of a bizarre situation going on.
Well, it looks like we need strength to get through it, then, don't we?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Anyone else have a question? Yeah.
I don't have a question. I do have an awareness that what I have found in the last like 3 weeks, I am being very intentional about and aware of the feelings when I'm around different groups and different people and different organizations. And I am pulling back from those organizations that I was spending time with. But when I found that it brought up frustration, it brought up fear, it brought up lack, because that's what was the overriding energy was there. And it brought that up in me. So I stopped, excuse my dog. So I paid attention to that. And now I am really being aware of my people, places, and things, and how I'm feeling, and staying away from ones that are not in balance with.
Okay. Another step you can do, Jennifer, is to tell that feeling to keep on going.
Okay.
But you're getting in touch with the experience that has caused that. And you know,
Right.
remember, when you get rid of experiences that are just at ease, it's not going to come out, oh, it's time to leave. It's going to come out exactly as it is. And so the feelings that you had was that experience. And so don't stop it, tell it to keep on going, and then act accordingly to that. And the act accordingly to that is to concentrate on your replacement.
Yes, my replacement. Okay.
And I'm not going to tell you what the replacement is. You know what that replacement is. The foundation is happiness, health, and wealth. And your
Right.
understanding of that is happiness, health, and wealth.
Excuse me, I have to get some dogs away from my door.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, now, as things from the spine, you know, going up to the shoulders and everything like this, you know, the shoulders are responsibilities, you know, and if you have difficulties in the shoulders area, there's a couple things to look at, you know, is that, are you doing your responsibilities, or are you doing other people? What's what?
Lady J has her hand up.
Please, if you want to talk to me, want a question, say something.
I started to, and then I was on mute. I wanted to speak to what Jennifer said and ask. I have a question because of what Jennifer asked.
Well, ask.
So I'm going to lower my hand. That bothers me. So if you're in a place with a person or a group and something bothers you, is that not true that that's a mirror for us to then look at that, let it go, and find our sovereignty or our strength to be comfortable in that group? Or do we always have to leave the group?
If you stay in the group, you're going to stay with that vibration.
Even if we let it go out of ourselves?
Right. It's still there.
Okay.
And you see, the key is to, is to do an action that replaces, your action is that you're replacing. If you stay where you are, you're still picking up the energies that are in there and everything. And so best thing to do is, if there's something that's disturbing, you don't have to stay there, because you were taught to stay there because you don't want anybody to hurt their feelings. Everything. And that's another part of the teachings that we want to change. That one of the freeing things I realized by moving away from New York State is that what a feeling I had when I left there, and then another strange thing, a really frightening thing is, I was with a group of people after I got to Tucson, and I says, I know that person. That person has the same name, and I know that person, and I know that person, and I know that person. I knew them all, but I met them for the first time. You know what I did? I excused myself to the restroom, and I kept on going. And I never went back to that group, because that's what I just left and everything. And I didn't really, I didn't realize what I was doing then. I was healing myself. And then right after that, I was accepted at the University of Arizona, and I replaced that time with people who are improving themselves and educating themselves. And that was a good replacement to do that, because I spent a lot of my free time in the library, and people are improving themselves and everything like this. So when you leave a place, know that what is your replacement? Happiness, health, and wealth. And you'll find people that are happy, healthy, and wealthy. I found the chapel, these people were the oddest people I ever met, but they were the happiest people I ever met. So I wanted to find out what made that happen. So I started hanging around with the chapel more and everything. And I found out everything. So what are responsibilities? I'm not going to give you a class on what responsibilities is. You know what responsibilities are. And you have an understanding if you're doing somebody else's responsibility. And it takes courage to tell people, do your responsibility. I'm not going to do your responsibilities anymore. And, relationships probably would be much more healthier if that would happen, because they do each other's responsibilities, because society and religion tells us to do different responsibilities that are not yours. Finding out what your responsibility is a development, and you take time to do that, to find out what your responsibility is. And learning the psychic ability within us tells us what those responsibilities are. See, when we develop mediumship, mediumship is to know yourself, and so that you will know what your responsibilities are. And it opens up the whole new life for you and everything. But the foundation is always happiness, health, and wealth and everything. And be consistent with that. And so, if you got things on the right shoulder, here again, it could be you may be doing responsibilities for a male responsibility. We all have female and male responsibilities in our own self, And so, is this my male responsibility? Males and females have characteristics, learn what they are and everything, because we each have them to do in our life. We all have male and female responsibilities to do, and they're not always what been taught to us and everything. You have a teaching within you that surpasses all things that have been taught to you, and you may find yourself being a rebel in some of these cases, because it's not going to always coincide with the things that have been taught to you. And so, one of the things I found very beneficial is that I find out how you were born. The process of born is actually how you learn and how you develop. And each one of us have a certain way of doing that, and then I've told you so many times that I didn't find out that I was born upside down and backwards until later in my life and everything like this. And I always kind of wondered why things that when I did things that were upside down and backwards, they worked out good for me. And then when I started living it quite often, I had a lot of strange things with people. You know, when I left New York, people say, "What are you running away from?" Something just came out and said, "I'm not running away from anything. I'm running to." I took it. I was doing it upside down and backwards and didn't even know it. And I was actually running to something, you know, that was healthy for me and everything. And so the things that I say here and everything like this, if you have a rebellion or sort of a restriction or anything like this, what is the restriction? Where was that experience that taught you that and everything? You're doing things in life. What is the experience that caused you to do that and everything? And you have that within you. You all have this within you and everything like this, you know. And so your responsibility is to know thyself and enact accordingly to that and everything. And there's a knowledge that's inside of us that's getting ready to emerge and everything. And you're not familiar with that knowledge. And in getting things that are familiar, how do you get to know somebody? You ask certain questions and everything like this. Do you, when you get quiet, do you sit down and ask yourself these questions? Do you and be honest with yourself? You know, you have to find out what honesty is, and honesty sometimes is not very pleasant. You know, when I found out that the reason people irritated me is because I was doing the same thing they were, and you know that's not a very pleasant thing to become acquainted with and everything. And so when I started changing the thoughts, words, and actions of that, people stopped irritating me, and they were still doing the same things. But I was not irritated with them anymore. That told me I wasn't irritated with myself. You know, the basic principle is that every person that you meet is a representation of you and everything. And the things that we've been taught in our life, you know, are not always the best. And you know, and we have knowledge within us that goes back thousands and thousands of years, and that's still alive in our being, you know, and it comes up just about every time when you get some, why am I doing this? And I know each one of you have had this, is that why do I do what I do? Why do I have this feeling that I have and everything like this, you know? And there's a reason for that, because someone taught you that. And there was an experience in you that taught you that. Experience is your best experience, is your best teacher and everything. So just know that, everything. So anybody having difficulties with their shoulders?
I got the whole back, David.
Well, that's a pleasant thing to answer. You're taking care of past experiences.
Yeah.
You're changing.
Mine is my left shoulder.
Your left shoulder? Where is it at?
Shoulder blade. Oh, go ahead.
Finish up, Jennifer.
Well, Amy was talking too. And mine may be from the work I did at the rug auction.
Oh, the rug,
Because
just this last.
Yes.
Okay, what does a rug represent to you?
Something is walked upon.
Right. And you haven't ever been walked upon, have you?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Well, that's an experience you're getting rid of.
Okay.
Now,
Yes, I am.
now make sure you don't walk on other people,
I will not.
but don't let people walk on you.
Mhm.
Great point.
That's the healing.
Yes.
Amy, you had a question? Or you were gonna say?
Tracy, what I was going to say that's unusual and I hadn't figured it out yet is everything where I have problems is on my right side. I have migraines on my right side. I have nasal problems on my right side, my right hip. gives me lots of problems. And so as I'm learning through you all, I know that's the masculine side.
Right.
And I don't know what the answer is. It's just very
Well,
interesting.
there's
And
been
even
male-
a doctor told me,
there's been you're
what I was saying is even a doctor told me that on the right side of my head, it's more vascular. So somehow the right side of my body is weak.
that is because of the experiences that males have done to you in your life have not been healthy. The influence of the male experiences have taken away those desire that you rightfully want to do. That you probably have had people tell you what your role is and what you do. From a male told you what a female is supposed to do, and there's been some traumatic things that have happened from the males in your life.
That makes sense. And it's just a lot to explore.
Oh yeah, you got the whole right side. And the controlling factor of your being is what you just experienced. And you know, one of the things of migraines, you know, the cause of migraine is a lack of self-love.
There you go.
Now, a key is to find out, how do you ignite self-love? You can find that out. In your silence, you ask yourself, how do I ignite self-love? Or you can say, I am now igniting self-love. That's a better affirmation. I am now igniting self-love. Because then the all-knowing in there will ignite it for you.
I'll work on that.
And you know what I think that will do? That'll help the other parts of your body too. And now when you feel those parts of the body being disturbed, know that it's leaving you. And you are replacing it with self-love.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. This is exactly what happens when you heal, you know, is that we don't talk about the things that we get rid of, because you're recreating them again. You know, we find something that is, like we saw with self-love, you know, is that everyone has their own idea what self-love is. And the thing here is that most of these ideas have been taught to you by somebody else. Now it's time to bring your definition of self-love up. And you don't have to go and broadcast that to the world. Just start living it. And you will know the difference when you start living your self-love. I would say everybody's a good one to use that. Okay, now I'm going to jump around a little bit here now, up to the shoulders and everything going on. One of the largest diseases that we have is the heart disease. You know, and you know, science helps us tremendously. You know, and science tells us, doctors tell us, when you had a heart attack, it didn't start the day of the heart attack. It started 10 or 15 years ago. Now, how did that start 10 or 15 years ago? There was a hurtful situation in the love area, and you know, the love area encompasses not only the ones that you're in love with, but also your love area, the family, friends. It doesn't have to be male or female or anything like this. You know, we have some experience in our life that someone that we care for very dearly did something that hurt you. You know. And now we got to go back to the real step of that, you know. If someone hurts you in the love area, somewhere along the line, you did the same thing. And this is very important to understand with healing, is that if you have a disease, we start out by saying that all disease is mentally caused, is that from the experiences in the mental realm, and the experiences are in the mental realm, And if you don't do anything about a disturbing experience in there, then you are going to draw that experience to you more and more all the time, and everything like this, you know. And so, what do I mean by working with that? You know, is that we had one class on forgiveness is one of the steps of healing. You know, give up that experience, give it up, and replace it with something that's happiness, health, and wealth, and everything like this. And the ability to give up and replace is healing and everything like this. You know, is that remember that when you're giving up, you're feeling what you're giving up. And this is what stops people from healing, is because they think about what they're giving up. Don't think about what you're giving up, just give it up. And be quick with your mind and say, I'm now happy, healthy, and wealthy. Because you understand happiness, health, and wealth. And it's your understanding what you're igniting, not somebody else's understanding what you're doing. And you can apply these principles to every part of your body and everything. And the thing here, what I find is very important to understand right now, when you feel uncomfortable, you're getting rid of that experience. Don't think about that or talk about it. Replace it. Do immediately replacing with this. This takes tremendous strength, because you've created a habit of talking about what you let go of. And you find people to talk about it to and everything. When you find yourself in conversation of talking about diseases of yourself or anything, stop it. If you can't change the conversation, excuse yourself to the restroom. No one stops you from going to the restroom. And then if they're still talking about it, don't go back. This takes strength to do. To heal, it takes strength, because you've been actually building this disease for many years through the habits that we have. And health is a habit. And I want you to know that it takes strength and confidence to do this. And right now, you know, there's something that we don't want to, the master teachers come in and say, well, the thing that the change in this world is corruption. And the foundation of corruption is hatred. And there's a tremendous amount of hatred going on in this world today. And we are to change that. And we change that by moving through it and knowing that, you know, and you know the opposite of that. And you get familiar with what is the opposite of hatred and everything. That is corruption and everything like this. And healing yourself is actually healing the world that you're in. As you heal yourself, you're actually healing the world that you're in. And I want to let you know that when you do change, people notice that. I went away from New York one time when I went in 1970, and then when my father was dying and everything, I went back for a while, and I went to a place where I usually go, where I did a lot of drinking, and I was talking to a real good, I thought, buddy of mine that we did a lot of drinking. He didn't even know me. I said, you don't even know me, do you? He says, no, I don't. I says, well, I'm so-and-so, and we did a lot of drinking. And we were in your Corvette one time, and you turned it over and everything. And he said, his face turned white and everything. But people don't recognize you when you change and everything. And so these are signs that I want to let you know it's going to happen. People are doing this, you know, is that healing takes tremendous strength and confidence and everything. And because if you are just at ease and you have a lot of health situations, those are your causes. And you're the only one that can change that. And you know what the opposite is, and you start establishing that in your life and everything.
It seems to me like the hardest part of that is to be able to let go of what you did to the other person.
Well, the thing is, you know how makes that easier? You didn't do it to anyone else. You did it to yourself.
Yeah, well, that makes it harder to me.
Well, yeah, because that's
Why
going
the
to,
devil would I do that?
because you didn't know any better.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Our best lessons in our life are experiences that we've gone through, isn't it? Each experience we have lets us know what to do and what not to do. And healing is one of what not to do, because the healing is a result of your actions. You're the cause of the disease in your life, and that's a big step to take.
And I think the other thing is realizing that we have to forgive ourselves. That's a
Right.
big thing.
That's the very first step to do, is to start forgiving yourself. And I do that every day. I say, I fully and freely forgive myself and loose myself to my good.
And look in the mirror and say, I love you.
Yes.
Mean it.
Right. And you know what? When I started doing that, I would think of my best friend, and I look in the mirror and I see my best friend. Then they say, I love you.
I mean, it's not just one time. This takes, like the habit thing,
Oh,
this
no.
21 days or whatever. Yeah, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Daily.
Mhm.
I love you.
What was the second part of that, Reverend David? I fully and freely forgive myself and
LOOSE, myself to my good.
Loose.
Loose. I want to be loose. I don't want to be tight.
thank you. You've said that several times and I know I've only gotten half of it. So, yay, I've got it written down.
Yeah. Well, I've said it more than several times. Oh. Well, you can see this is quite a subject, isn't it? And I think we just sort of scratched the surface on it. But any part of to go into our meditation and everything, any part of your body now that you'd like to have more, you have an effect that you'd like to know more about?
I'd like to know more about that right shoulder, because I never think of, right in the scapula, back in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just part of the shoulder, or does
And
that,
then-
is there another significance? to
That's
that?
also an experience from the past that you did male responsibilities that was someone else's.
Okay.
Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah, probably a lot. I was a single mother, so
Oh, yeah. They
I,
single mothers know how to pick that up.
Your face, that was funny, Lady J. Oh, yeah.
well, and then I was in the military, so I did a lot of male stuff, and I don't know how many times I did before I got strong, how many times I did what the corpsman ought to be doing. And the corpsmen in those days, when I was in the military, were
Yeah.
males.
This whole concept, when I first learned it, I was just like, wow, like once it really absorbed, because it took a while for me for it to not even absorb. Like I heard it and I heard it and I heard it. And then finally it absorbed. It was like, oh my gosh, and I started making action happen, going to the mirror. That was a very emotional experience, doing the I love you experience and being, straight with myself. And I don't consider myself doing a lot of bad things, but I know from the back that I have, and so I just, it takes serious strength
Absolutely.
to do it. And once you do it, you're free. It's like freedom, you get it.
I found it very hard to say I love you in the mirror when I first started doing that. It was extremely difficult.
It
I just
is.
couldn't hardly look myself in the eyes and say that.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's necessarily a whole lot easier now, but it is easier.
Yeah. So how many people we got in the chapel?
2, 3 with me.
Who's the second one?
Meaning, I don't know which one you're talking about.
Well, Ernestine and you, I know.
And Anna,
Who?
Anna,
Let her say.
Oh,
Anna,
hi. Hi, Ann.
hi, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I'm like, let her say it.
Okay. I want you to think about this, you know, what we've been talking about, and there's much more of the body that we talk about, but we're already going way beyond our time. The main point is what I get across today. Think about what I've said today, and you can relate that to every part of your body and everything. Just know that you have the ability to heal. Someone just come in?
No, 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 Mike just put his video on for a minute.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's place our donation for the class between our hands, and let's give a blessing before we give. Mother, Father God, as we place between our hands that which you have given us, the strength and the power to have, we give to the source, to put into the works, to the love, to those who we meet on their path of fulfillment, and for the functioning of this abode that you place in our hands. We put into effect the law of tenfold return to each and every one that gives freely from the heart. Amen. And we thank those on Zoom that has donated through our website. Amen. We ready for our meditation?
Ready.
Okay. As we become quiet, let us concentrate on our breath. As this breath moves into the nostrils, feel the relaxation that's being ignited. Just relax, relax. As this relaxation moves gently in and around and through you, it starts settling. It turns into something called very, very important, called love. This conquers all disease, blockage, and injury in your life. And you recognize this love being alive and active with each breath. As you exhale, you release toxins and negative attitudes that you have toward yourself and all people concerned. As you are releasing these toxins and attitudes, they are being dispersed into the I am. Just relax, recognize, and release. This is the healing breath that's moving ever so gently in and around and through you. And as this healing breath moves gently in and around and through you, it starts settling in the feet area, the understanding part of our being. And with each breath, you understand you. As you understand you, you understand the world that you move in. Just relax, recognize, and release. And as this healing breath starts settling in the feet area, the understanding part of our being, with each breath, you understand you. As you understand you, you understand the world that you move in. Just relax, recognize, and release. As this healing breath starts moving toward the ankles and up the legs, feeling all tension, frustration, and nervousness leave, just relax, recognize, and release. All the agitations and irritations throughout the day are being dissolved. Just relax, recognize, and release. As this healing breath reaches the hips, know that you are free to move forward in life. Just relax, recognize, and release as you move freely in your life with happiness, health, and wealth. As this healing breath moves ever so gently to the base of your spine, the small of your back, you notice that it's becoming stronger. This is where your strength lies. Confidence, security, and firmness is strength. And as it activates, you feel light. And as this breath moves up the spine, touching each vertebrae, each nerve, and each vessel, you feel light. You feel light. Giving up the burdens that don't belong to you to take care of the ones that do. So just relax, recognize, and release. As this healing breath reaches the shoulders, relax the shoulders. The shoulders represent responsibilities, and know that you are doing your responsibilities in life, and you do it with freedom and ease. You do it with freedom and ease. And you allow all other people to let them do their responsibilities with the same freedom and ease. As this healing breath reaches and touches the shoulders, Relax the shoulders. Know that you are doing your responsibilities, and as this breath moves down the arms and reaching toward the hands, feel that breath between your hands. This is your healing breath, your healing breath. And as you have this healing breath between your hands, place it very gently in the lower abdomen area. Life lives here. You are full of life. Life is happiness, health, and wealth. You eliminate all that hinders you from life, and order is being ignited with each breath. Order adjusts all faculties of mind to move harmoniously for life. Just relax, recognize, and release. As this healing breath moves to the stomach area, wisdom is now being ignited with each breath. You are wise in all that you think, say, and do. You are wise. You are wise. As this wisdom moves ever so gently to the heart area, the love center of our being, with each beat of the heart, you're sending love to all parts of your being, and you radiate this love. Wherever you go, sense, feel, or touch, this radiance is being ignited and multiplied within you. As this radiance moves ever so gently to the throat area, the power aspect of our being, you are the commander in your life. You are the ease of that command. You are at ease. As this command goes to the face, the top of the head, to the very crown of one's head, healing is now being ignited within each and every breath of your being. As you are in this relaxed and healing mode, you notice your path beneath your feet. And that you notice the grass that lined this path, the sun that trickles through the trees that also line this path. And as you move down your path, there's a breeze that touches your body, the healing breath of the universe, igniting healing within you. As you move freely down the path, you notice a clearing in front of you that's free for you to move into. As you move into the clearing, you notice the light of healing for you. Your light of healing is in that clearing, and you merge with that light. And I'm going to leave you for a few moments, allowing healing to be igniting within you. Take advantage and enjoy. very gently now, wherever you are, become aware of your healing clearing. And as you become aware of your healing clearing, your mental and physical consciousness becomes aware. And in this clearing, each one of us are in that clearing, and your healing breath goes to each and every one in this class today. And we become one healing breath, one healing breath. We direct this healing breath to the healing box, to all the souls that are making transition in and out of this world, all the institutes of health, that each person is being healed and maintained in that healing. All those that are affected by the winds, the rains, the snows, and the movement of the earth, and the disease that's going on, that they are protected and healed. And all the heads of state, that peace is the journey and destination. And as you are becoming aware of your spiritual path, and you moving down on your spiritual path, your mental and physical consciousness becomes aware, remembering all that you've seen, felt, and heard, and feeling very refreshed, alert, and keen. As your mental and physical consciousness becomes aware, remembering all that you've seen, felt, and heard, and feeling very refreshed, alert, and keen. And when your mental and physical consciousness are fully aware, open your eyes. Welcome to yourself. Being aware. Okay. Okay, Mike, how'd you do tonight?
I did well. So when we were in the clearing, you said something about a beam of light or some healing energy. So at first I was just sitting in this beam of light, and then I kind of just rose up above the clearing and kind of watched what was going on in the clearing, which is a whole lot of nothing, and then kind of just rolled over and was kind of one with this beam of light until you brought us back.
Well, that whole being of nothing is actually the creative energy. By feeling that you are in the creation of energy. Good job. Okay. Anna, how'd you do?
I did very well, thank you. I relaxed, I feel better. It's been a very busy day, and I'm glad I just have this meditation and relax myself.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Amy, how'd you do?
I did great. I've had a busy day as well, and so I used this as my meditation time. I have a kid that's in trouble, so I just sat with her in that clearing until you called us back.
My mind is so intrigued by the things you said that I said, but I got back down to it, and I thought a lot about I tried to just experience, like saying the things that you were saying, trying to say that in my brain to make myself not think of other things, and then just focused on healing light.
Okay. Was that you, Tracy? You, Tracy?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay. Thank you both. Okay.
It's the Wi-Fi.
That's all right. I felt the difference. Okay. Jennifer, how'd you do?
My meditation was calming, and I got into the space. However, sometimes thoughts of the day kept poking through. But I did focus on that forgiveness that you were talking about, as well as self-love. And I felt more relaxed and at peace by the time it was over with.
Okay. That's a pretty good replacement. Lady J.
Well, I had no problem. It was kind of interesting. Usually I watch myself going and being in the field or wherever you send us. And this time I actually was in the field and felt the energy and just really enjoyed the light and felt a tremendous amount of healing that's taking place for me. And then I went to, one of my dear friends passed away, and her viewing was today. And in fact, I just got home from about 5 minutes before the service. And she came in and we just kind of, well, I don't know what came in, but she came into my mind and spent some time remembering the good times we've had. So it was really nice. I felt very different with being in the light.
All right. Thank you. Reverend Ernestina.
Oh, it was very nice, very relaxing and very healing. Wherever I was at, I was totally there. That I was too relaxed. It was, who knows where it was. I just know that I got a lot of healing out of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Reverend Angie.
I too got a lot of healing. I ended up in the beginning having swirls of energy around me, of positive healing energy. And then I started seeing all these different visuals of scenarios of people's lives that were my life. And I was healing that. I was seeing those pictures of their story, but I knew that I was them. And that was really interesting because it was people that are here today.
Right.
But I knew it was me, my story. Very interesting. And just sat in some really, really good healing energy with that. Yeah, lots of spirits tonight with that.
Yeah, okay. I want to leave you all with a few words, is that what helped me with accepting the things that I did that I didn't recognize, and I was very irritated at when I found out I was irritated with myself, is I accept myself as I am. And as I accept myself as I am, I accept all the conditions and I don't argue with them. I don't say, oh, I wouldn't do such a thing like that. That's an argue. Accept it. And that is a step of healing, and you're going to free yourself to evolve and to take care of the corruption in this world. So, any other comments tonight?
So are you saying, I have a question. Are you saying that when something comes up, we try to argue our way out of it or make excuses for it or whatever, that we are doing a disservice to ourselves?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't.
That's a good thought. Act accordingly.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, one more thought. See clearly and act accordingly.
Wow, very cool.
So let's have our thanks words. Mother, Father God, we do give thanks for sharing each other's presence here today. As we go on our path, let us extend the love and the protection that's in and around and through each one of us to that path, so the highest and best will manifest in our lives. When we meet those on our path, let us extend the love that is abundant. We give thanks. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for showing up tonight.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for being here.
Yes.
Have a great week, everybody.
You
Bye.
too. You too.